Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bo and Joe Show. It is Wednesday evening, our favorite night of the week. I'm Joe Tierney, and I am here with my co-host and partner, Bodine Sanders. Hello, Bodine. How are you?
Joe, are you cold up there in New York or what?
We are cold, but it's supposed to get to be in the 50s on Friday, but then it's going to plummet till the teens on Saturday. So it'll be a short-lived, a short-lived break from the cold weather. How about you? How's it going there?
Those temperatures is just a teaser. No, it's been cold. It's still cold. I don't think I saw anything in the 50s for Friday, but I know it's going to drop to the single digits on Saturday. That I know.
Yeah.
So consider me a chunky soup man. Too bad I don't have a chunky soup commercial. Maybe I'll get one, and I'll be locked in. I'm not going out there in that weather. They're talking healthy, unhealthy conditions.
Right, life-threatening conditions, actually.
For some people.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anybody out there who needs shelter, please take care of yourself and it's a tough weekend too, right? It's the holiday weekend, so it's our last show before the Christmas holiday for those of you who celebrate Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you. I'm typically up on the other holiday dates, but I'm sure Hanukkah is probably already wrapped. I didn't, for some reason, I haven't really been paying much attention to that, but I'm usually very good about that. And then there's Kwanzaa. There's all types of different holidays this season. So certainly, whomever is celebrating, we wish you enjoy. And then we all celebrate the New Year. That'll be exciting, but we'll talk about that next week.
No, Hanukkah started on Sunday. Kwanzaa is observed and begins on Monday the 26th.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the holiday season. So yeah, all good.
Good food, good drink, good company. We wish that for everybody.
No good food. No, I'm not trying to put on the weight that I lost. Sorry, not doing that. No.
Well, you can have good food without gaining weight. They're all.
Oh no, not if you splurge and enjoy the meals. So thank goodness I'm not around immediate family. So I'm good. But I will celebrate Nova beating St. John's tonight. Yeah. Nova beating St. John's tonight in the Big East. Woohoo!
Wow.
We're getting back on track. Yeah.
All right.
Basketball team started off a little slow, but making progress.
Okay, so what else do we have? What do we have on the agenda? What are some of our stories of the week? I'm trying to think. There were a couple of really good ones. Now I got to refresh my memory. I don't have my notes with me, unfortunately.
Well, listen, we got a lot. There was a lot of good football to talk about. We should get G in here if he's in the background waiting. But let's start off with the passing of a great legend, Franco Harris from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking news coming out. When that came out today, that was heartbreaking news, certainly. And any loss is big at this time of year, but that was certainly a huge loss, especially to the Steelers family. So,
from my understanding, they were going to honor him and the team on Saturday because it's the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. I could be wrong, but he would definitely be. He specifically mentioned was going to be honored this weekend. So it's a shame during this holiday season for that to happen to anyone. So sympathies out to the family and the Pittsburgh family. I mean, he caused me many tears. I can tell you that right now as a Dallas Cowboy fan as a kid, beating up on the Cowboys. So But just an all-around great guy. Played at Penn State, so that's a little close to home for Pittsburgh. For Philadelphia and Pennsylvania fans. But from what I heard, and I've never met him, but I know some people in Pittsburgh. They all say he was a great guy.
Yeah, heartbreaking for sure. And he was young. I thought. How old was he? In his 70s?
I think it was 72. I might have seen.
Yeah,
Look
72. It is 72, and that's
72.
That's very young. But I think that oftentimes, and professional sports are, of course, different. But oftentimes blue collar workers, people whose bodies, their professions, their bodies take a toll, right? I think that oftentimes that's very difficult, and sometimes that takes a toll on their livelihood. And certainly, football figures, we've spoken about it before. They certainly get knocked around, and I always worry about that.
G3, what are you doing? Are you experimenting with your technology there? You got what's going on? He's doing something. He's out. What are you, outside playing with the Christmas lights or something? I can't tell. I see like cat eyes or something. What is that?
There it is. Yeah,
He's in the car. No, you're in the car.
Oh, he's in the car.
Yeah, Bryce and LB both said thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
For their hats. They appreciated that. They thought it was
Nice.
pretty cool.
Nice.
And I still gotta send you over the picture.
When you get a chance, are you just wrapping up practice now?
I'll let Bryce send it over. We finished up our practice. We had a great practice.
Oh, it's
See,
34
Getting
degrees.
nippy. It's getting nippy out here.
Yeah, that's cold. All close to freezing. Two more degrees and it'll be freezing. Holy cow.
Yeah. No, we had a great practice tonight. Bryce definitely learned a few new things. That's for sure.
Good deal. We were just talking about the passing of Franco Harris.
I was discussing that a little bit with one of the parents too. It's just so ironic, especially to happen a few days before the 50th anniversary celebration that will be held in Pittsburgh this weekend. Let alone to have this happen before Christmas too.
Right. Now, is that the 50th anniversary for the Immaculate Reception?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I saw it live. I didn't even know what happened. I had to see the replays when they showed the replay. I was like, what just happened?
I wasn't even a thought yet.
That's when I just started watching football, 7 years old, almost 8. Yep. It was probably at my grandmother's house after church, too. So I got World Cup. What about the World Cup? It's over. Messi is the greatest, or one of the greatest that ever kicked the ball around.
Sure.
Question is he going to officially retire, or is he just retiring from one league or one team or what?
I don't know.
I don't know. When you're, I'll say it. Look at Tom Brady taking up a roster spot.
Chris, could you kindly remove George from the video?
Shots fired. No, soccer is a whole different animal. I mean, Pele was what, 48, I think, when he finally decided to retire.
Well, how old is Messi?
I don't think he's in his, I think, late 30s. I don't think he's that old yet.
Yeah, but by the time the World Cup comes around, he'll be 4 years older. So I think this probably was his last World Cup. The question is he going to continue to play for teams or is he done for real?
Yeah, that's true.
He's 35.
So he'll be approaching 40. He'll be 39 the next time it comes around. So that'll be a tough decision.
He's still very, very active. I mean, I know soccer is a total different animal. I mean, there is a lot. I mean, that is a lot that you are putting your body through. I mean, it is a total different animal, and
that's a lot of running. Absolutely,
that is a lot.
Call it what it is. That's a lot of running. You talking about wearing down the tires on those wheels. I mean, wow.
Yeah, those knees, those knees have got some serious mileage on them.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what he does.
All right, what else? So Aaron Judge was named this week too, the Yankees captain. I think he's his 16th captain in the franchise history. So that was a baseball development. That's something well deserved. I think that I'm a fan of his, and I like to see that news.
What did he resign for? Do you have an idea? Does anybody know how much? It's probably crazy. Some crazy, outrageous number.
His 9-year, $360 million.
Woo!
So I told Bryce, forget football, go play baseball. They pay more.
Oh my goodness. That is just amazing. Well, hey, he deserves it. He bet on himself and he won.
And he really, he gave baseball a shot in the arm. It had been lagging and I don't know, of course, COVID impacted it, attendance but interest, right? I mean, he brought the interest back. He brought the fans back in many respects, and he made it interesting to watch. And I think he's also personable. When players are likable in any sport, it enhances the experience for people, and it just makes it a more worthwhile adventure, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does seem personable, but he also seems quiet. So, in baseball, that's a good trait to have. It's almost like Ken Griffey Jr. personality. Because I think Ken Griffey Jr. was more quiet than Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter was like a vault. You couldn't get anything out of Derek Jeter.
Even now, he doesn't spill the secrets. Even in retirement, he doesn't. He has a great deal of respect for the organization, and he still comes back, and he'll spend time there and with the fans, and he still has admiration for his players. He was actually there when they named Judge the captain, and he was there posing with his family, with the Yankee organization, and it's nice to see. I think the fans adore him, and I love his allegiance to those people, to the fans.
Well, he better have it, because he's getting paid a whole lot of money to have it. So kudos to him. He's set for generations. So that's good for him.
We sometimes see these people who make so much and they mismanage, or their money's mismanaged, and hopefully he has the right people around him and will protect that windfall, that fortune.
Yeah, I think so.
Besides that, I don't know any other big news outside of the football realm.
Well, there's still some controversy about or surrounding Deion Sanders and his moving to Colorado, leaving Jackson State. Guys are taking shots. It's just gonna happen. Those folks are jealous. You know, you can always count on Monday morning quarterbacks, folks who are jealous to take shots when they can. So, as Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. A lot of people are.
The first time. She said, when people believe him the first time, don't.
Oh, absolutely right. And this is the first time for me seeing other guys who I had no idea who they were showing their gluteus maximus because they're jealous of the things that Deion accomplished, because they didn't accomplish them. If they did, I'd have heard about them. And I never heard about these guys.
Yeah.
So, but that's to be expected. When you're at the top, people take shots.
Well, that's what happens to you and I every week when people. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about? Let's jump into. I wanted to talk about something else, and I just can't remember what it was. But
well, we got lots of football to talk about. Instead of rushing through the NFL, let's talk about last week's games before we talk about this week's games.
All right.
I mean, we started off with 49ers in Seattle, and the 49ers, man, I'm telling you, they look good.
Yeah, I like the 49ers. I thought they look great.
They look good.
They look so darn good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't pick them. I picked Seattle, but that's okay. Seattle needed that victory, and they didn't get it, so now they have to struggle. Is 49ers with that victory? Are they in the playoffs at this point?
Yeah, they're in.
They're in.
They're officially in, yeah.
Well, I think we have to talk about the game of the week, right? I mean, what about that comeback of the Vikings? This record-breaking comeback. That was unbelievable. An unbelievable
Down 33-0.
Bodine knows all about that one with me.
Yeah,
Apparently, George has the mojo that once he starts watching a game, the team starts winning. And of course, it happened. The score was 33-0. He gets home from bowling or practice, and all of a sudden, Minnesota scores a touchdown. And then the next thing you know, it's over. Minnesota comes back and wins the game. I have never seen anything like that in my life. No, I have seen. No, I have seen it because I was alive. I was young enough and alive to remember the Houston Buffalo game.
Yep.
And so
the Nashville Miracle.
Yeah, when Frank Wright.
Like that.
Yeah, when
the Frank Wright brought the Buffalo Bills back.
Yeah, Frank Wright brought the Buffalo Bills back against Houston, and I think that was a Warren Moon.
Yep.
I think that was a Warren Moon Houston-led team. Jumped out in the front, and so I saw that game. So to say Minnesota pulled the biggest comeback in history is actually true. They did it. Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
And Minnesota owes me. Minnesota owes me big time because when I first turned it on, and I even messaged Bodine and I said, okay, I just got in. It's on. Time for this game to flip around. And I said, if it happens, I says, you'll know it was me. And that's why he said, it's like, yep. It's all they need. They just need me to turn around and tune in.
Well, Here's what's funny. We were all on Minnesota, and I was like, man, how did we all get that wrong during the first half? I'm going, we all was that wrong? And then all of a sudden, man, that game helped us big time, because we literally, everybody who voted last week voted Minnesota to beat the Colts.
So we forgot. We didn't start out with you giving us the stats. You didn't tell us what happened.
Well, because I thought G pick was the only lone wolf to pick the Colts, and I was wrong. He actually was with Minnesota with the rest of us. He won last week by 1 game. I had 11 wins. Chris had 11 wins. G had 12 wins. Randy had 9 wins. Joe, you had 8. And I forget what Tim had, because Tim was in and out. So I didn't keep score of Tim.
All right.
It all came down to that Cowboy game.
Came down. Yep. Yep. That's where you lost it, the Cowboy game. That's where you lost it, was the Cowboy game. That's when you lost it. Yep. Because we were all of us was pretty much on all the same teams. I mean, there's a few games where there were 1 or 2 people picked somebody else. So the next game was Baltimore and Cleveland. We were all on Cleveland. And the next game was Buffalo and Miami, which was a good game.
It was.
It was, yeah.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was gonna. Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't think it would be that entertaining, but it was a good game.
Fans throwing snowballs.
Yeah, the fans throwing snowballs, which is hazardous in some ways. They got some heat for that, but
well, enough of the national media calling Philadelphia fans bad. It needs to shift to some other teams. They need to carry the load.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. So
those refs were being very nice, because they could have penalized Buffalo, and they could have evacuated the stadium.
Yep.
And made those folks get out, and they continued the game without the fans. So folks need to pay attention to that stuff. So, but other than that, good game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
That quarterback, Josh
Allen.
Yeah, he's great.
He's just a monster. He really is. I mean, he has no fear whatsoever. I mean, I like his play, no doubt about it.
I didn't realize how tall he was.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until this game, and I think they said he's 6'6".
Big boy. Him and that quarterback from the LA Chargers.
Herbert. Yeah.
Yep. They're big boys. Yeah. So we have all kinds of quarterbacks out. We've got the 6 feet, 6'2", 6'1", Hurt for the Jalen Hurts from the Eagles. You've got smaller quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, but you've got some big boys. So you can win in this league if you get the right quarterback with the right skill set. It doesn't matter. You could be short, medium, or tall. You can win in this league with the right quarterback. There's no more cookie cutter quarterback the way it used to be back in the day.
Yep.
So. Next game, which I thought was actually the Atlanta game, was interesting because they had the quarterback from Cincinnati. Gee, you should know about that quarterback, right?
No, because Cincinnati hasn't been relevant since before him.
He's pretty good. I remember him at Cincinnati. That kid he can throw. He needs some time.
A line? He needs an offensive line? Yeah. That's what Russell Wilson's been complaining about for years. He still doesn't have an offensive line.
Mm. So there's a new kid on the block who's gonna make a name for himself if the coaches do the right thing and the general managers do the right thing. He's pretty good.
Hmm.
Detroit, the Jets, another good game. Detroit still winning.
I'm surprised a little bit.
Huh?
Yeah, I am
I'm
too.
surprised a
I'm
little
very
bit.
surprised.
Yeah.
I am too.
You guys are still surprised?
Yeah, because the Jets literally fell asleep on that last drive. They did. They fell asleep.
Well, listen. What's the quarterback's name for Detroit? Came from the Rams. They swapped
Jared Goff.
quarterback. Jared
Goff.
Goff is a very good quarterback. I
Whoa.
saw. Listen,
Whoa.
I saw
He's
him.
better. He's better now. He's better now, but
I
It's
saw
a little
him.
bit.
Listen, I saw he was coached very well by that Rams team. I saw him drop back and do a progressive 1-2-3 read and put that ball right in the hands of the running back, which was his fourth option. Not very many quarterbacks do that under pressure. This guy can play some football. He just needs a better team around him. And obviously he's winning, so that means something.
Yeah, the 4th and inches to the backup tight end, that was the gutsiest call I've ever seen. Dan Campbell, I'm telling you, that Lions squad, all great former NFL players, are their position coaches, and it shows. It is starting to show.
It's all about coaching people up. That's what it is. You know, you can't win as a team if the well-oiled machine has some problems. It's a team effort. The coaches, the players, the front office, everybody. It takes a team to win. And they're finally
the whole strategy behind what the front office is doing is literally just bringing in every single coach is a former player. And that's what's going on.
Hey, they're on a 6 or 7 game winning streak? It's working, right? They were 1-6. Now they went 6-1, right? So they're 7-7. They still have a chance to make it to the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. And they have the easiest schedule the rest of the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And if Minnesota should slip anywhere,
which they possibly can, you leave it to Minnesota.
They'll end up, they could end up playing Detroit in the first round on that wild card weekend, and somebody's already got their number.
I can see Detroit beating them. Yeah, I can see Detroit beating them in the playoffs. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter because they both play indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Playing on turf. I can see that happening. There's no weather advantage for either team.
Nope.
There you go. Do we have to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Cowboys again?
I didn't catch the game. I mean, I saw the highlight at the end, which was unbelievable. But there was, it's just kind of funny as this weekend went on, when we see the Minnesota come back, and it's like, oh, that's the best thing we've seen so far this weekend. And then the 1:00 games happen, and Jacksonville takes out the Cowboys, and it's like, oh, well, that's the best thing we've seen happen. And then we find out later on in the afternoon something else even happens, and it's like everybody tried to one-up everybody all weekend long, and it definitely happened.
Great weekend. I'm telling you, it's playoff time. These games are basically playoff games, right? If you win, you give yourself a chance. If you're in the hunt, you're giving yourself a chance to make it to the playoffs. If you make a mistake and lose, it's just making it tough for yourself. Unless you have some enormous lead. Now, Tampa Bay, let's talk about Tampa Bay. What is happening to our Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Tom Brady with 2 fumbles, that's very un-Tom Brady-esque. I have to say that.
was.
That did not look like the Tom Brady that is the usual Tom Brady. I'd like to know what
No.
the heck happened.
Well,
I'd love to know what happened, because that, at home no less, it's not like you're in Cincinnati, you're at home. And what was going on?
well, did you see? I forgot. This was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Did you see the video of him on the sidelines? How
No.
he was, you know, it was circulating on all the social media where he was screaming on the sidelines at the players, you know, saying this isn't, you know, how we're going to win. This is how we suck. And he was unhappy on the sideline.
It's not the first. That's
Yeah.
not the first time.
Yeah.
It's not the first time. The other time he threw the temper tantrum, and he broke 2 of the Microsoft tablets, and that's of course when the league said, "Well, guess what? Now we're going to start charging you guys for breaking all these tablets." It's like, ugh. Yeah, like I said, it was not very Tom Brady-esque, and something's going on over there.
Well, listen, it gets heated on the sideline. I'm sure you guys seen clips of Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning going at it, you know, way back in the day. It happens all the time. I mean, remember last year, 2 players on was it Pittsburgh's team or another team, actually almost got into a fist fight with each other? I mean, come on. It happens. It's not the sorry. I'm not worried.
Well,
But this is
I'm not-
Tampa Bay.
I'm not worried about it either. I mean, I think that, you know, fights happen. It's a passionate game. You know, that happens in any profession. You can get mad at your coworkers, and it's high stakes. But I think it really speaks to, you know, first of all, he hates to lose, which I assume all professional sports players do. But I still honestly believe that his personal life is taking a toll on his play. I mean, he had an interview this week where he was saying this would be the first time he's not spending Christmas Day with his children. So I'm sure Giselle has the kids. He's playing football, but I'm sure in other years that she ensured that they were together later in the day, but he's not going to see the kids at all. And he's been speaking to that in interviews. So I think that all those things weigh heavy in your heart because kids are asking. I'm sure even if he's fine with it, your kids might not be, and I'm sure they're not. And this is a big transition for them. And when your kids are unhappy and telling you that, you know, I have to believe it's impacting work. I can tell you when I'm unhappy in a relationship or it impacts my everyday, you know, my everyday comings and goings is evolved and is retrospective, introspective as you want to be. It still takes a toll on your life.
Well, isn't he playing his game actually on Christmas Day, and it's an away game?
Coming back this year is why he's in the situation he's in.
Mhm.
I mean,
it is, but I think that in other years Giselle would have went away with him, right? But now they're estranged.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Earth. Welcome to planet Earth.
Yep.
with the rest of us mere mortals.
Welcome to reality.
I was going to say.
No.
Yeah. So, hold on. Where is our New England Patriot fan of all time?
Yeah.
I don't know. He dropped us. We haven't seen him lately.
I'd like to hear from him. What in the world was that wide receiver thinking?
Oh, jeez.
Throwing that pass back. Did you see that highlight or at least see the game, Joe?
I did. I don't know.
I've never seen a game like that in my life ever.
So Coach Charlie Weiss was asking first thing Monday on his morning radio show. They asked right off the bat, he said, we need to turn around. And he said, we know that there will be a nickname for this play. And of course, the listeners definitely obliged. And one that was coming off pretty strong, that had a good strong running, was called Lateral Damage.
Lateral damage.
Lateral Damage. That was the one that was leading out of the clubhouse out of several. The Sin City Stiff Arm. There were a couple of really goofy ones, kind of like that. But Lateral Damage was one that was really sinking in and sticking with it. And we discussed it a little bit on our show, and we all kind of agreed that that's pretty much about it. That was exactly what it was. It was lateral damage, and I didn't know Chandler Jones had those kind of paws. Boy, he could catch that thing.
Oh, he just reached up. He threw it right at him.
Bryce liked the other one that was called Jacoby Jackpot, because I know that the kids sit around and play that game in football practice now, and it was Jackpot, they called it, and it's like, oh, so now it's called Jacoby Jackpot. But I was like, oh, okay, he liked that one. But yeah, the lateral damage kind of is one that sounds like it's sticking with everybody.
I like Sin City Stiff Arm.
Well, the only problem with that is it was just the little aftermath piece of the play. It's like what really caused the play was the lateral, and so that's why they thought that one would work the best.
Well, now
that City Stiff Arm was.
Now that I remember who the quarterback was, my hometown, Mark Jones. I think I want to get away from that one. I can't have my home. I mean, he's going to live in infamy for the rest of his career, because they're going to show that all the time, right? So
You could have called it the Sin City debacle.
that's true. That's a good one. I like that one. What do you think, Joe?
I think any of them will do. I don't know.
And they're all going to do, because with social media, people are going to keep coming up with names for perpetuity, right?
Yeah.
We probably don't even know all of them. There's probably that's going to be a meme, the latest meme of that'll be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd never seen anything like it. I was like, what in the world is he doing?
Yeah. Would have been interesting to hear Justin's perspective.
Yeah, he just should have took a knee. The game wasn't even in overtime yet. There was just no way you were going to win the game. Go to overtime. Why are you trying to do something crazy? But that's what happens. So, any other games that ring a bell? Well, I guess Washington has a slight chance of making the playoffs, but with the Giants winning and that head-on, don't the Giants own the tiebreaker because they won the first? No, they tied. Did they tie each other before?
They tied. Washington and New York tied.
So because the Giants won this, they win the tiebreaker, right? If they both end up with the same record and have a chance to get in the playoffs, the Giants will win the tiebreaker. So Washington's got a steep hill to climb for the next 3 weeks in order to supersede the Giants.
And because the Giants won, Cowboys are in the playoffs along with the Eagles.
Right, and then if the Eagles beat the Cowboys,
well, we have to win out. The Cowboys have to win out, and the Eagles will have to lose out.
Right, but if the Eagles win against the Cowboys, that last game against the Giants won't matter.
Right.
Which means it hurts Washington, because the Giants is going to want to win, and the Washington is going to need to win. So it's like it's an uphill battle for Washington.
Yeah, Washington or Detroit. That's that last spot.
Yep, I think it's going to be Detroit. Honestly,
me too.
I think yeah. You giving us a tour?
I was going to say you're behind the scenes of behind the scenes.
What do you think? You're at the ESPN studio and you're doing a commercial? walking to his studio table. Oh my God, people! Oh my God! All right, I'm not putting on my glasses so I can see what you have on your T-shirt. What does that say?
That's the Lake Erie Crushers championship T-shirt from was it 2009? That was a long time back.
Yeah, it's the same year Villanova football team won the national title, 1AA. Yeah, baby, that's a good year.
I think that was probably the year Chris was born, so you're right. It was.
Yeah.
Huh? I missed that one, huh?
I said I think that's the year Chris was born, so yeah.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Shots fired everywhere.
Monster.
Ooh.
All right, so let's get into this week's games. Are we ready? And we cover all
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow night, it's my Jags again in New York. I'm telling you, the Jags are on the roll.
They are.
They're on the roll. They got a great coach who used to be the coach of the Eagles. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Matter of fact, Chris and I were talking before the show started. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL awards Jacksonville a Super Bowl in the next couple years, and Jacksonville ends up playing in that Super Bowl in their hometown, like the Rams did when they won. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
No, that was Tampa Bay.
Well, that's Tampa Bay who did it.
Tampa Bay,
Yeah,
right.
Tampa Bay's been the only team to do it.
Gotcha. And guess what? I forget. Did Tampa Bay win last year or was it the year before that?
Year before. It was 2020.
Okay, so
It was
this
the
past
COVID.
Super Bowl was the Rams. Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
Time
think they
flies.
were in their own stadium last year.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the Rams were in. Yeah,
So back to back.
it was back to backs.
Okay, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I feel lost because I don't have, I'm not in here. It's like, it's been weird. I've been out of this room for 2 nights. It's kind of crazy. It's bizarre. I won't be in here for almost 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. I will not be in this room to do a show for 16 days.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that is crazy.
Well,
and if the Ohio State-Michigan rematch occurs, it will be, you can add another 14 onto that. You can add another 14 almost onto that. So, because we're not going to we won't air a show on that night either. So it's, wow, it could be a while.
Good.
when would
But
that
I
game
would-
be on? That game would be on a Monday night, right?
The Monday,
It'd be
the
at
9th.
31st.
Yeah.
The playoffs.
The championship game would be on the 9th.
Yeah.
That Monday night. So
Oh,
yeah, that's what I said. We wouldn't be doing a show. We wouldn't be doing a show on that Monday night, and then Bryce has a basketball game the week after that. So,
ooh.
yeah.
All right, I just circled that on the calendar.
He circled that on the calendar. He didn't know. Yep,
I
that's
totally
a
didn't
possibility.
know. Did not know. Well, I'm picking the Jags versus the Jets tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Joe, who you got, Joe?
I got the Jags.
Chris?
Jaguars.
Coach?
Jags.
All righty. Anybody else want to chime in? Any visitors want to chime in?
I don't know. No, I don't see anyone.
No
yet.
Tim, no Randy.
No.
Not tonight.
Okay. Next game, Seattle at KC.
Hmm.
I got-
Okay. You're going. Is that it's a 1 o'clocker?
Yeah, on
Okay.
a Saturday, I think.
Yeah. So I was gonna say.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chief.
Yep. Chiefs is marked here.
We're all on the Chiefs. Okay.
I'm sorry. Have you seen the Seahawks play? Do you think they can play in 6.5 inches and minus 35 degrees on Saturday? Not
Is,
me.
is Kansas City an outdoor stadium?
Yes.
Mhm.
And you think they're going to have snow on Saturday?
Mike said 6.5 inches of snowfall between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the temperature. In fact, their temperature wind chill tomorrow night is minus 35 degrees with the wind chill.
I think they'll move it. I think they'll move locations. If it's that,
By Saturday, it's supposed to be warmer. It'll be 6 degrees.
That's
Yeah, they could play in 6 degrees.
They'll play.
Minus
They'll
is a
still
different
play it.
game. Yeah, 6 degrees is different. Yeah.
Oh, trust me, my very first Browns game was Cincinnati versus Cleveland. In Cleveland, it was minus 20 with the wind chill, and the game went to overtime.
Mm.
Cincinnati scored the game-winning field goal. It was cold.
If I saw the highlights, I would probably remember that game. That's a game I would not want to play in.
no.
And I stayed for the whole thing because it was my very first game. And my mom even asked me at halftime, "Are you ready to go?" I said, "No, I want to stay for the whole thing." And when it went to overtime, my mom just said, "Oh, I'm frozen. I want to go." I said, "It's my first game. I don't want to go."
Hold
Even though I couldn't feel my fingers and my toes, I didn't want to go.
There was a game on this past weekend, and there was somebody in the crowd with no shirt on, and the announcers was ripping him, saying, "That's just stupid." I forget what it. Believe it. It was cold in it was the 49ers Seattle game was cold.
Yeah, but not that cold.
No, they had cold temperatures. I mean, like in the 30s, if I remember correctly. That was unusual for Seattle, right? I mean, they're known for rain, but they're not known for that kind of cold temperatures, right?
Oh, Seattle is. Oh yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Oh yeah. They're way up there. Oh yes. They're up in the mountains. Yep.
Okay. Next game, Giants versus Minnesota. This is a good game. Both teams need this win.
I'll go with the
Joe, you're torn. New York versus Minnesota.
I'm torn, but I'm going with the Vikings.
Okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah, it's Minnesota.
I'm going with the Giants. Y'all, I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
I'll make sure I watch the game.
I got a couple of victories I gotta pull out. All right. ATL versus Baltimore in Baltimore. I'm going with Baltimore because ATL, they done gave up on their quarterback and they got the rookie in. So
I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, rumor has it Lamar Jackson has practiced this week already. So, yeah, I'm going Ravens.
Ravens.
okay, we're all on the Ravens. Uh-oh, this is easy. Detroit in Carolina.
Lions.
Lions.
Joe?
Mm.
Oh, she's thinking about it.
They're in Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, the Panthers.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Really? Okay.
I wouldn't mind the Cowboys facing the Panthers in the playoffs. Better than Brady.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Next game, Cincinnati in New England. This is going to be a good game.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh,
You're
Hold
picking
on.
New England.
is New England going to get hit with weather? I'm picking New England.
Yes, they're getting the same weather.
So who's going with Cincinnati? Everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Oh, this is a dumpster fire. New Orleans versus Cleveland.
Now
In Cleveland.
we are expecting 50-mile-an-hour winds on Saturday during this game.
We are too, though.
Just letting you know. Just
I
letting
think
you know.
I think
We're getting
everybody.
close to
I
50
think
mile an hour winds. We are
I
supposed
think-
to be the windiest during the football games.
I think everybody's expecting it because it's hitting big. What 80% of the country? This bomb cyclone they're calling it.
Well, this particular area, we're due the 50-mile-an-hour. We're supposed to get the worst of it coming through our little dip around the lake.
Well, both teams can run the ball.
Right, that's what we're expecting. We're not expecting if somebody gets a couple passes off, we're going to be awfully surprised.
Both teams can run the ball because New Orleans has
One
the
running back
and the quarterback that can run the ball.
and Taysom Hill, correct.
That's what I mean. Yep.
The Browns have 3 running backs
Hunt.
and Jacoby Brissett.
All right. Who you guys picking?
I'm going with the Browns.
I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah, we all went Cleveland here. Even though the Saints defense is a stingy bunch, we
Yep.
still think it's going to come down to some crazy, weird, windy field goals.
I'm about to blow y'all out of the water next week, or I'm going to be the biggest dud on the planet because I'm going with
I
New
was going to
Orleans.
say, if you end up being the dud and you don't show up, we'll understand why.
Yeah.
We'll understand why. It's like, where's Bodine at? I'm thinking it might have something to do with those football picks from last week.
All right, next game is going to be really easy. Houston in Tennessee. That's easy.
Tennessee doesn't have their quarterback for the rest of the
That's
season.
correct. I am taking the Houston Texans.
Hold on, but Houston's got Henry. I mean, Tennessee's got Henry.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Houston
But they've been
Texans.
struggling. Houston's been they've
Houston-
lost, but they've come back.
Houston has been playing good football. That's true.
Houston's been playing great football. Just ask Crispy Bacon what they almost did to the Cowboys. And look what they did to Kansas City. They took Kansas City right to overtime. Yeah, I've seen the pretenders that the Titans are. I'm taking the Texans to win their second game this week.
Joe, who you got?
I'm going with the Titans.
Tennessee.
Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, you going with Tennessee?
Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the lone wolf on this one, brother. I'm going with Tennessee too. All right. Buffalo in Chicago. Chi-Town. Cold, windy. Soldier Field.
No, Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I was going to say, it's still Buffalo weather conditions, my man. I'm taking Buffalo.
And Buffalo's in the playoffs too, so along with Kansas City.
Listen, I'm crazy, but I ain't that crazy. I'm going with Buffalo. Washington at San Fran.
Against
49ers.
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 We're all on the 49ers. That's because they're a good team.
Well, if you can win with your third string,
Mhm.
your second string, and your first string, I mean,
Yeah, that's true. All right, Christmas Day. Is it a Christmas night game between the Eagles and the Cowboys, or is it a 4:30 game?
Christmas
No.
Eve.
It's
Christmas Eve.
But is it a afternoon game or an
a
evening
3:20.
game?
It's the
a
after. It's the
4:25.
afternoon. Yeah, it's an
Okay.
afternoon. It's an afternoon. They put a lousy game on for the nighttime because we'll be spending it with our families. So they put a lousy game at the nighttime. For
Okay,
background.
who you guys picking?
Eagles.
Cowboys.
Where is the game?
In Dallas.
In Dallas, which means great weather.
Well, for indoors, but we're getting the weather too.
Mhm. I'm
I'm
gonna
pick.
go with the Cowboys.
So am I.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I'm telling Philly, you're in trouble now.
Listen, I'm not being a homer. I just know that Dallas needs this game more than Philadelphia does.
The fan in you says Philly, but looking at it, you're like Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas needs this game or they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Dallas almost lost to the Texans. Dallas is in big
Yeah.
trouble. They're in
Yeah.
big trouble.
But we lost to Washington. That don't mean anything. That was weeks ago. Plus, with our quarterback, I mean, I love Minshew, but let's just be real. Dallas really needs this game because they lost to Jacksonville. They can't lose 2 in a row. They got to pull out the stops in this game.
Yeah.
I'll lone wolf the Eagles. I have no problem with that.
I can't read my
The
hand. Raiders versus
the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yep.
Christmas.
This is the Christmas Eve night game that nobody will watch because everybody's going to be spending it with their families.
But guess what? With the passing of Franco Harris, Pittsburgh is going to really be jacked up. The fans will be jacked up. I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one.
I'll go Raiders.
I was going to say, even with everything going on, I still am going to say it's the Raiders.
But I think it's going to be, and I know it's not like this, but maybe both teams will go, let's play it for him. You played it with intensity.
Yeah.
Let's both teams have it like that way too.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but again, with the weather and that wind, it's going to be a run fest, and the Raiders have a running game, and the Steelers, well, they're still working on it.
Where is it played at?
It's in
In
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Three River Stadium.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you got? Joe, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
There you go. Smart lady. Green Bay at Miami.
Yeah, Christmas Day, these games fight. These games are not going to be fun.
That's okay.
I'm going with Miami on that one.
I am
Okay.
too. It's in
Yep.
Miami.
Yep, it's
Okay.
in Miami. I'm Miami.
I'll go Miami.
Oh wow, who's gonna want to watch this game?
Like
Denver.
I said, they put lousy games on.
Denver versus the Rams. Who's gonna watch that?
Mark Rippon versus Baker Mayfield. Yay.
I'm going Rams only because it's a home game.
I'm going Rams.
It doesn't matter if it's in LA or not. The Rams don't have a home. They don't have home field advantage.
I'll go Broncos.
Are you? Woo.
I also chose the Broncos. Actually, all of DA chose the Broncos.
So are you choosing the Broncos now?
Yep.
Okay. Bucks Cards.
Oh, the Cards are on their fifth string quarterback. I'm taking the Bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tampa's gotta win. This
Even
one.
the Bucks can't screw the. Never mind. I won't. I'm not gonna jinx it. Nope. I'm just taking the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it.
Chris,
I
who you-
swear
Tampa.
if they lose, if
I have
the
no
Bucks
hovering.
blow this,
I'm
If the-
hovering over the remove button, George.
Crispy Bacon. Who
Tampa.
you got?
Tampa.
Okay.
and Arizona doesn't have a GM.
Oh yeah, it's a dumpster fire there. Absolutely.
Soon they
Okay,
won't
the
have a
last
coach.
yeah, the last game, the Chargers versus the Colts. I'm going Chargers.
Chargers.
Even though a West Coast team is flying to the almost East Coast, but it's more of the Midwest, I'm still going to take the Chargers.
So it's in Indy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in Indy.
Okay.
I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers too. The
Crispy
Chargers
bacon?
really need this one.
Chargers.
Okay, those are our picks
All
for
right.
Christmas weekend
All right.
in the cold weather. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to have my adult beverage in hand with my soup and crackers, and I'm chilling in this cold weather.
All right. Well, happy holidays, everyone. We certainly want to extend that out to all of our viewers. It's another holiday season. It's our second with you, and we appreciate you being loyal and sticking with us throughout this whole year. And we're looking forward to the new year, 2023.
Mhm.
Wrapping up this last week of 2022. So everybody be safe, stay warm. Thank you, of course, Chris, for everything behind the scenes. George, thanks for joining us tonight. And
Thank you as always.
to my-
Thank you. Have a great one. Happy Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
All right, play us out, Chris. Thanks, everybody.